Imagine this. You're huddled under a blanket in your living room, the heater cranked just enough to fend off the winter chill, when your power bill arrives like an uninvited guest at a party, demanding more than you bargained for. Then, flicking on the news, you catch Energy Minister Chris Bowen beaming with optimism, declaring that electricity prices have dipped by a tidy 6.2% over the last year. You pause, coffee in hand, and wonder, is this guy reading from a different script than the rest of Australia? Welcome to the wild world of energy politics down under, where figures twist like eucalyptus in the wind, and the gap between promises and paychecks feels wider than the Nullarbor Plain. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this electrifying saga, exposing how Bowen's bold assertions got zapped by experts and left sparking with controversy. But first, if you're as hooked on these political plot twists as I am, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Because in Aussie politics, the drama unfolds quicker than a summer storm over Sydney Harbour. Let's rewind to the spark that ignited this firestorm. Back in the election haze, the Albanese government dangled a shiny carrot, a $275 cut to household power bills by year's end. Fast forward to now, and journalists, those relentless truth hunters, cornered Bowen on whether that pledge still holds water. With the poise of a tightrope walker, he leaned on fresh Australian Bureau of Statistics, ABS, data, touting that 6.2% drop as proof positive. But hold your applause. This isn't the fairy tale ending it seems. Enter Danny Price, the no-nonsense guru from Frontier Economics, who spent decades dissecting energy markets with the precision of a surgeon. Price didn't just raise an eyebrow. He dismantled Bowen's narrative piece by piece, labeling it a clever illusion, like a magician pulling rabbits from hats while ignoring the trapdoor. Joining the fray were Shadow Energy Minister Ted O'Brien. Wait, that's Dan Tehan. My bad? Politics names blur like road signs in the outback, and Nationals MP Matt Canavan, who piled on with the enthusiasm of footy fans at a grand final, accusing Bowen of cherry-picking stats to suit his story. Now let's crank up the voltage on Bowen's math. He argued that without Labor's relief measures, prices would have skyrocketed 16.6% higher, painting a picture of Dodge disaster. It's akin to boasting about saving a sinking ship by bailing water with a teacup. Sure, it's effort, but the hull's still leaking. Those rebates? They're like a quick sugar hit, sweet for a moment, but they fade, leaving the core issues humming in the background. Volatile wholesale prices, aging infrastructure, and the bumpy shift to renewables. Bowen swung that 6.2% figure like a superhero's cape, promising relief, but Price countered with hard facts, revealing how the stats mask quarterly hikes and ignore the sting of expiring discounts. It's not just numbers clashing. It's a showdown between polished podium talk and the gritty grind of everyday life, where families juggle bills like circus performers, deciding if tonight's dinner means skipping the lights or vice versa. Zooming out to the grand arena, this kerfuffle isn't mere political jousting. It's a mirror to Australia's energy woes, amplified by a scorching summer on the horizon. Demand surges, grid strain, and cost-of-living pressures bite harder than a croc in the top end. Bowen's upbeat tune rings hollow when households feel the heat, quite literally, choosing between cooling fans and full fridges. Canavan didn't hold back, branding the claims more fanciful than a bush yarn spun around a campfire, while Tehan demanded transparency, urging Bowen to ditch the spin and face the facts. And Price? His critique lands with authority, backed by years of crunching data that governments can't easily dismiss. This isn't armchair commentary. It's expertise calling bluff on bluster. In essence, this video boils down to a classic tale of promise versus reality in Australian energy policy. Chris Bowen trumpeted a 6.2% price drop based on ABS figures, crediting government rebates for averting worse hikes, but experts like Danny Price exposed the sleight of hand, highlighting how short-term fixes obscure ongoing rises and unfulfilled pledges like the $275 bill cut. Opposition figures Tehan and Canavan amplified the backlash, framing it as misleading Aussies amid real financial strains. It's a reminder that in politics, stats can dazzle, but lived experiences endure. As we head into peak demand season, the question lingers. Will the government rewire its approach, or keep flipping switches in the dark? What do you think? Share your bill horror stories below, and let's keep the conversation charged. Until next time, stay powered up.